Had two interventions that have gone on. One had been going on for a year and 2 months was when I did this intervention, and the guy refused to go. And I said, before the actual intervention, I was like, this guy's going to go. We've got so much leverage and he stands to lose so much that he's got to go. Well, he didn't go, and he lost his kids. He lost his girl. He had to take some licks. I mean, it came down to him getting evicted. And most people would think that intervention did not go well. And it was quite the contrary. The family got engaged in what they were supposed to do and detached from him. They still loved him. They still sent texts saying, hey, how are you? We love you. Hope you're well. We're here for you to support your recovery if you choose to. They dove into their own work, and they had some peace and some relief from being held hostage from his alcohol abuse. And he had a very vital experience. And it was dragging on for him and the family too. I'm not going to sit here and act like that they weren't concerned this whole time. But daggone it worked. This guy found out his family would only support sobriety and recovery, and his experience got him to a position to where he surrendered. And just this week, I am so happy to report that he called his family and said, man, I'm ready to go. And that was it. They got on the phone with the treatment program, and they honored the original price. I mean, hell, it was a year later. Prices have gone up on everything. They honored the original price. He called and did an assessment with them over the phone. The next day, the willingness had not slowed down. Slowed. This willingness had not slowed down, had not waned. And he got on a plane, and his dad took him to treatment. They got there. His dad was sending pictures. Everybody was just so excited. And then this second case, it was about 6 months ago, something like that, 7 months ago. We intervened on this guy, and he refused to go. It didn't end poorly. He said, no, I'm not going. I'm going to go out here and figure it out. And the family maintained some contact with him to some degree. It wasn't like they shut him completely out of their life. They built a defense system around themselves. He also had an experience that he needed to have. Most of his buddies ended up going to jail for robbing and, acting out. And he finally, that's been over the course of several weeks. He's come to the surface, and he's ready to go. Now, unfortunately, with that situation, because it had been a while, the treatment program that he was going to, they couldn't honor the original price, so we had to find a different program for him to go to, an equally effective program. And he's called and done the assessment, and he's been in contact, and they've agreed to a price, and he's going to be on his way going to treatment. A lot of people think that if the intervention guy or girl does not go to treatment that day, that it's a failed intervention. It's not. See, most people look at interventions as just an offensive move. And whenever you're in conflict or going into conflict, whether you look through history at military, look at games, football, baseball, basketball, any sport really, and interventions are no different. It's a strategy. You have an opponent, and it's called addiction. It's not the individual that you're intervening on. It's what's holding them hostage. That's your opponent, and that requires you to have both offensive strategy and defensive strategy. And most people, when they think of intervention and family as well, they tend to look at interventions as it's all offensive action, and it's not. You have to have really good offense, and we look at that as, what can we shut down? How's this guy or girl being enabled? How can we limit their movements? How can we cut off any funding? Things of that nature. Then there's the defensive strategy, and that is the family putting this boundary up around them that won't be penetrated by their addictive behaviors. It's the family, refusing to be held hostage by their loved one's addiction. It's about the family, most importantly, just as important as is going and getting their own work done, getting involved in Al-Anon, getting involved in Families Anonymous, or their own therapy, their own family therapy, their own individual therapists, and really arming themselves with some defense. You have to have both a strong defense and a strong offense. And in these two cases, we had a good offense. It didn't stop them right then, but the offense combined with a phenomenal defense got these two individuals to where they're willing to get some help, and I truly believe they're going to go in there. They're going to have a great experience. A lot of cases, or a lot of people go into treatment just get the heat off their back, or if they go through an intervention and they go that day, it takes a treatment team, a good treatment team, a month to break through some resistance. And I don't think we're going to have to do that with these two cases. I think they're going to go and have a great experience and go in there with an open mind and be like, man, my life's burnt down back here in the hind end, and I don't want to do that anymore. So show me a different way to live. So I'm really happy about how this went down. It's just the way it goes. Never lose faith. I never lost faith. I was sad for the families that they had to extend this out for so long, but they were busy working on themselves. But it happened the way it was supposed to happen. There is nothing more vital to an individual than an experience. It is more powerful than anything that I can say or anything that the family can say or do. It's a powerful. There's nothing compares to that. So it's all good stuff.